So back in December when Korea got the next updates, they made huge changes to liberating your Genesis weapon. In the showcase, they had advertised that it was going to no longer take 8 months, but rather it is going to only take 3 months, assuming you fulfill the conditions. And I'm going to explain how this new Genesis weapon liberation system works, because a lot of people seem to have a lot of questions. What is up, guys? This is Kobe here, and welcome to a new video after a while. But in today's video, this is probably gonna be like a quick one. At least I think it's gonna be quick. I don't know how long it's gonna be in total, but I just wanted to address some things about Genesis Liberation and what you have to do in order to get your Genesis weapon in the patch after. I'm going to assume GMS will get this patch around June 11th, and then with MapleSeA announcing the next showcase for May 23rd for their region, they'll probably get it around June 4th. So here I am on one of my unlibbed characters working on Liberation, basically my fire poison that I made back in December for Challenge World. And for the progress I have right now, I am currently on the Lucid mission. I've cleared the Lucid mission, and I have these things called Traces of Darkness, which I have 624 out of 1,000. So basically what happens is that instead of having to defeat the Genesis Crux, you now have to kill Black Mage commanders, weekly boss Black Mage commanders. That does not include hard Hilla. It includes Varus Hilla, but just not like the old hard Hilla. And you get traces based off of clearing those bosses. The bosses consist of Lotus, Damien, Lucid, Will, Gloom, Darknell, and Varus Hilla, and that's it. And then depending on which difficulty you kill, you get traces based off of which difficulty you kill and how many people you kill the boss with. You also get additional traces clearing Black Mage every month as well too. But going back, now in order to get your Genesis weapon, you just have to finish the MapleStory questline, all that stuff. Once you kill story mode Black Mage and you have that cleared, you get the weapon. You can literally liberate without having killed a real Black Mage a single time after this update. But that doesn't mean people's like normal Lomian lib mules or normal Lomian mules are living, because in order to live, you still need to do those same missions where you gotta solo or duo hard Will or in hard Lucid and in V Hilla. I mean, technically they could still get carried in a duo lib, right? But chances are people mostly duo lib with those who are about similar strength. After you get your Genesis weapon off of clearing Von Leon, you will then be, or for the Von Leon lib, you do this. But in order to proceed to the Arcarium lib, you will need to get 500 Traces of Darkness. You can no longer do Von Leon and Arcarium back to back. As soon as you get that first medium clear, no, the game wants you to get 500 Traces of Darkness to proceed to the next mission. The total amount that you need is 500 for Von Leon, Arcarium, and Magnus over here. So 1.5k total by the time you finish Magnus. But then once you get to hard Lotus and above, you will need 1,000 Traces of Darkness for the final 5 missions. So that is going to be a grand total of 6,500 Traces of Darkness that you need to obtain. So now it comes to a matter of how many of these do we gain per week while running down these weekly bosses. Over here we got the Maple Road website. Very nice utility website for a bunch of KMS info. You can even Google Translate this page if you really want to. You can do it right now. And basically what we'll do is this is your quest in progress and how many traces you currently have. So as a fresh lib, of course, you'll be at Von Leon, or just, you know, you just got the Genie weapon, you'll be at Von Leon with 0 traces. And let's say your character is just so strong that you are able to solo everything. You're able to solo H-Loam, H-Luwil, C-Tennies, all that stuff, but you decide to avoid Black Mage. But I'll still mark Black Mage just because. Also, one thing I want to mention, hard and extreme Lotus do not have a difference in the amount of points that they give, as well as hard Black Mage and extreme Black Mage. This mission thing is basically like, for the people who are living, you are not expected to kill bosses harder than hard Black Mage. So they're not going to reward you more for killing extreme Lotus or extreme Black Mage, nor do you get anything from grandest bosses. Also, Slime isn't on here because Slime has no relation to the Black Mage. And then this here just means, did you clear these bosses for the week or not? and we're just gonna take it as no. So if you just got your Ginny weapon and you are starting Lib from 0 and you can solo C-Tennies, the amount of time it will take you to liberate your weapon is almost 13 weeks, which is approximately about 3 months. So it is currently May 10th in Korea at the time I'm using this calculator. So it will be from May 10th to August 7th, which is a little bit under 3 months just to lib without having killed Black Mage a single time. But of course, if you do not want to solo all your C-Tennies, but you still solo H-Loam and you want to duo with somebody for H2 Will and C-Tennies, that timer will move from 3 months to 5.1 months. But you still need to solo the Lim missions. Or duo if you still want to do that with the person that you duo with. But it's going to take about 5 months and you will liberate in October instead of in August. What my Fire Poison does is that I solo everything on that character. All the way up to C-Tennies, it's like a 45 mil combat power Fire Poison. I do like an 18-minute V-Heal on it. All the C-Tennies are rather longish too. It takes me nearly 2 hours to get through all the hard bosses on that character. But I do it for the love of the game. That's just how that goes. And if you are down to commit to that to liberate a character as well, I also 3-man Black Mage with the runs taking damn near 30 minutes. That's just how it goes. And that it takes a grand total with the 3-man Black Mage. You really only save 1 week. That's like, if you add Black Mage to the mix, because you only get like what 200 points out of the 600, because it's going to be 600 and then they divide that number by 3. That's really most of what you need to see. Basically, if you want to know how long it's going to take for you to liberate, you can click the link in the description and you can mess around with this website here yourself, because it's very good. All you got to do is just go in, put the quest that you have, put the traces, and then check if you've ran the boss already for the week, and then the game will tell you when you liberate. Now for some frequently asked questions, a couple things is when we get the patch expected in June. Do we or do we not run Black Mage before the updates? And my grand answer is it solely depends, but I think for 99% of people's situations, you want to run Black Mage before the updates, and here is why. Over here, written on Max's blog, it will say, basically, if you have the quest in progress and you've already defeated the Genesis Egg, aka the Genesis Crux, so before the patch, if the Genesis Crux shows clear, after the patch, the cleared Crux will turn into 1000 out of 1000 traces. And that's just that. If you ran BM after the patch, even if you soloed, it's only 600 traces. So 600 traces after versus 1000 before, I think you should kill BM before the update. For example, my Ilium will be on GMS in June, should clear Black Mage and turn in the Lucid Lib and be on the V-Hilla Lib before this update. So whenever this update arrives, I will be on the V-Hilla mission, whether I've cleared before the update or after. I mean, it will just say clear or not, depending on, you know, if I actually did. But after the update, it will show my Trace of Darkness bar at 0. It will be shown at 0 out of 1000. The trace will literally only show an empty bar or a filled bar, depending on whether you cleared Black Mage before the update or not. The only situation where clearing Black Mage after the update is better is if you are on one of these first 3 missions before the updates, and the time passes where the patch hits, and let's say you're on the Magnus Lib. You cleared Magnus, and your Traces of Darkness bar is going to be at 0. Because, like I said, the update, the bar is only going to be at either 0 or completely filled, depending on if BM was cleared or not. You solo BM, solo Black Mage specifically, not duo, that's worse, but you solo Black Mage, so you end up at 600 out of 500, which gives you 100 more traces than if you were to do it before the patch. Obviously, not a lot of people are going to be able to do that. And I should mention, you can overstack traces up to 1500, no matter what mission you're on. But by the time, the game will not let you stack any more than 1500. Once you hit 1500, it stops, and you must continue with the liberation quest, or else the game is going to put your liberation at a pause and you don't get anything from bosses. Also, here is a list of the amount of traces the bosses give as well too. And then another question is, this is specifically for heroic regions, and I don't have a definite answer for this, but they ask if red dot players, people who get carried, they're just completely red dot, but they're there for the liberation progress, does that count for them towards the mission? And my answer, I don't know, but I'm gonna be leaning towards a yes. And the reason why I'm leaning towards a yes is because red dot players are still able to clear BM and prog with their liberation by just having the crux cleared. And there was no restriction at all, because by the time this update was released in Korea, reboot was already gone. That's a thing of the past. It doesn't exist anymore. So there's really no telling if being a red dot or not is going to be good for this, but I'm going to lean towards a yes, because I feel like that's something they have to, like, GMS has to intentionally code in themselves to make it like where red dots don't get any lib progress at all. But again, this question will only really officially be answered after the patch on June 11th. So my FP is on the Lucid lib at 624. Doing every hard boss C10 below solo for the week gives me 470 points, and I haven't done it this week yet. So I do it this week, and then weekly reset hits, and the next weekly reset hits. That's a total of 1410 points, which is barely enough to push my FP to liberation and get the real Genesis weapon after only 3 weeks of bosses. So I'm pretty much already almost there, with myself only being a little halfway over the Lucid lib. And that's it for the video. That's all the information that really needs to be provided about this system. I wanted to make this video because a lot of people have been asking about, like, oh, where is my lib prog gonna be at after the patch hits and all that stuff. So I just had to give a little bit of an explanation as to where you will be and also how the new system works. There is going to be a lot of content hitting overseas regions this summer. Like, I'm telling you, a lot. Like, there's a whole new UI on the screen and everything. Like, KMS has done nothing but cook these past 5 patches. December, January, February, March, April, all 5, they did absolutely crazy things. So I want to cover as much as I possibly can. If you have any recommendations on what to see, I will get to that. I know one of the big things I'll have coming this summer is the Baldrick's guide for those level 290 plus, which is not a lot of y'all, but I'm still gonna make it anyway. But we'll see how things go. Also, there'll be a test server update on May 15th, and there is a chance, I'm saying there's a chance, but I genuinely feel like they are going to announce the summer showcase. That should be coming up soon. But I feel like the May patch itself is going to be really small. Like, they'll just do a bunch of big anniversary events, because that's kind of what we're doing in Korea at the moment. It's the 22nd anniversary. And yeah, really just a small patch. Come before the big storm that we will get over the summer update, which will officially hit Korea on June 19th. And yeah, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching the video. I appreciate y'all. I'm sorry for being gone for so long, but like I said, any video recommendations about what's to come to GMS, I'm gonna get y'all, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.